Hi guys, it's me Raymond, and Happy New Year. It is 2019 now. Wow. Oh my gosh, 2020 is next year. I'm getting ahead of myself. Um, it's crazy to think. What a weird sounding year. I remember when I was, oh my gosh, I would have been like, I don't know, 12, 11, going on 12. 2007 sounded so weird. I remember thinking and like always getting used to writing like 2004, 2005, like, so it's just crazy to think that that was 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago. But anyway, so Happy New Year. It is literally, if you hear screaming outside and fireworks, that's because it literally just became 2019 a few moments ago. I am up at midnight right now and I am ready to do literally my first star review of the year. And actually, this is going to be a special episode, a very special episode, where I talk about something that means a lot to me and was a huge part of my childhood. And that would be this show, Rugrats, the iconic 90s, early noughties cartoon sitcom, comedy, whatever you want to call it. It's not a sitcom. What am I doing? I'm tired. It's after midnight. Forgive me. Not that I am not dumb any other time. Anyway, starting the new year off right already. So first of all, Rugrats was a huge part of my childhood. Some of my earliest memories are actually watching Rugrats. And to corroborate this, there's actually a notebook of my sister's where she wrote, like, she had to write daily writings every day, and this was 1997, okay? And she wrote this to her teacher about how I was a brat and all I wanted to do was watch Rugrats. I mean, it's absolutely true. And Angelica Pickles was my favorite of the Rugrats. I loved Tommy, I loved Chucky, I loved Phil and Lil, but I loved Angelica. And usually, really, I'm not the one that like loves the villain. Like I'm always like a Disney princess person, not necessarily a Disney villain person. I don't know why that is. I know a lot of people love the villains a lot. I mean, I love them, but I think they're fabulous. But I love Ariel, and I just have always, I don't know. So, but Angelica is kind of one of those exceptions where I just love the villain. She is so crazy and maniacal. She's a 3-year-old, and it's just funny. So, I don't know. I always loved her. I always did. And I actually used to have a doll. Not used to. I had a doll that I carried around with me everywhere. And so, like, I grew up when Rugrats was, like, the shit, you know? Like, it was the biggest show on Nickelodeon, and, like, there was a ton of merchandise out there. And I had a lot of it. Between that and my other favorite show at the time, Scooby-Doo, I had just a lot of stuff. So I actually used to carry around my Angelica doll like everywhere with me, and I'll insert some pictures, or I think I only have a couple, but I did take her everywhere. I used to take her to my sister's ball games and on trips, and I mean, she was my Cynthia, which is kind of the ironic thing. And I actually, so a funny story, not really funny. When we got, so I literally had these dolls. I had all of them in this form. If you hear other weird noises, it's because the wind is blowing like crazy outside. It's like also storming. So first of all, we have New Year's going on. They're screaming outside. I hope people aren't dying. I hope they're just excited because it's New Year. Anyway, so I had all of these like smaller, I think they were 4 inches versions of the dolls. And I had Tommy, Chucky, Phil, Lil, and Angelica. And then I think I had a Spike as well, and I had a Reptar that was like a Slumber Party edition. or was he the beach edition? I think it was Slumber Party, I want to say. That sounds right, yeah. It was a Slumber Party one. Because I remember he had glow-in-the-dark slippers, and they were really cool. And I actually went in this very bathroom, and well, it looked a lot different at the time. We remodeled like 7 years ago or something, but so yeah, I remember coming here and having all the lights off and looking, and oh, you see my special guest, and looking in my hand at the sandals or the flipper or the slippers glowing in the dark. So anyway, so I had these things for years, literally since 1997, 1998. That's when these things were coming out. That's when I had them. I remember being very little and opening them. So in 2003, we got my dog, and Buffy, who you've heard barking and stuff in the background. So she actually was a puppy, and you know how puppies are. Long story short, she ate all of my dolls. Except one. Exactly one of them. And so before this, my parents, mostly my dad, did not want me playing with dolls anymore, and they were afraid of me being bullied, and it was something they thought that they needed to do to take the dolls away from me. So Angelica was one that went first, and as a child, I never thought that she was still around. I thought that I left her in my dad's truck. Like, I literally thought that until like the last 5 years, when I found her. So she was actually like, you go in my basement and there's a shelf above the stairs, and it just kind of has junk on it, and there's like a shoebox. So I took the shoebox down once, and inside was Angelica. And she was exactly how I had left her the last time I played with her. And she had like black rubber bands in her hair, and her hair was braided. They were like gross. You know how it is when I open dolls on this channel. And so I opened her up, and she still looks exactly the same. Very rough, but very loved. So so yeah, this is my Angelica doll that I had as a child. She's very floppy. She's like a plush, a soft bodied doll, and she has plastic hands and feet, but the rest of her, and of course a head. Her hair is yarn, and I did try to rebraid it. They came out again though. I did put rubber bands. I have not cleaned her. I just kind of have left her exactly how like 6-7-year-old me last had her. So she's the only one of my original Rugrats dolls left, and I'm sad about that, but I also am happy that I still have this one. I thought she was gone, and she meant the world to me as a child, so I'm so happy to have her still. But she's very rough, as you can see, very dirty. I played with this doll. I loved it. So, kids, and I was very young. I was like 2 when I got this doll. So of course she's not going to look great. That was over 20 years ago. So she still has bits of rubber band in her hair. I remember swimming with her. Like, I remember all sorts of things. So yeah, she's seen her days. So fast forward to now, and I just decided that I would look up these dolls, and I never knew that this existed until more recently, because I only ever had the kids. I was little. There was no internet. I don't even really remember these being in toy stores. Like, that's how long ago this was. So I got this on eBay just today in the mail. Well, yesterday now. And I have been waiting to open it. I mean, you know how it is for me though. A couple hours is agonizing. So I've been waiting to show you guys this, and I'm so happy to have it. I'm so excited. Angelica was, like I said, my favorite character, and I never knew that the parent dolls exist. There are parents, there are grandparents, like there are all sorts of different lines. Like, I never knew, and I only had the main group. And I mean, that's really all that mattered anyway, but I I'm so amazed that these exist, and I want to debox them with you guys. So I hope you Rugrats fans that maybe don't watch my channel aren't going to be too surprised or too upset that I'm opening this, because that's kind of what I do here. So I just can't get over how, like, look at the comparison just before I open it. Mine actually has lined eyes. This one does not. And I noticed that on the box, however, on the back, I'll show you guys the back, she does have lined eyes. So these are just a few of the different things that you could get at the time. And I actually had this talking Tommy as well. And I had an Angelica that had like a night outfit on. Her pajamas, there we go. And she was also a soft-bodied doll. But he talked. I remember he used to say all these sorts of things. A baby's gotta do what a baby's gotta do. I remember that one especially. Of course, all of his catchphrases and that sort of thing. But I think this is the coolest, and I really desperately want it. It has the grandparents, Boris and Minka, and of course, Grandpa Lou. So yeah, I really would like to get that one. These are some larger dolls. I'm not sure how big exactly they were, but they're closer to, you know, 10, 12 inches or more. So they're a lot taller. They're more like a baby doll size, and they do different things. I think Angelica's pigtails spin around. Chucky, I'm not sure. I think his hair stands up, maybe, or something. Spike's ears move up and down, and the Tommy, I guess, giggles. So yeah, there are all different sorts of ones. I've seen tons of them pop up on eBay, all different kinds. So yeah, there was a lot, like I said, a lot of Rugrats merchandise at the time. It was exploding. I think that I read somewhere that the show was really getting popular in around 1996 and 7, and so that's why there's so much of this going on. It was like their #1 show on Nickelodeon for a few years. So anyway, let's look at the box. It says Angelica's family for ages over 3. There's a price tag on there. I think it has $5 under there. I don't know why people scribble stuff like that out. I think that's goofy to me. I don't know. Unless it was the store that did it, but it's just silly. There's actually a Toys R Us sticker on here, and it was originally $14.99. Here's Tommy and Chucky on the side. We've got Charlotte and Angelica, and she's of course yelling on her phone. I'm trying to think of her assistant's name. Jonathan! There we go. There's Dee Dee and of course Stu. And on the bottom we have Drew. Kind of like, oh, of course, Angelica. You know, I'll get you that, Angelica. Not my childhood. So anyway, without further ado, I am going to debox this baby, and we will take a closer look at the things inside. Kind of feel bad opening this, honestly. Look for these and other Rugrats Mattel toys and the Rugrats Slumber Party dolls, each sold separately and subject to availability. All right. I love that sound. Ooh. Oh my God, look at all these twisty ties on the back. Oh, crap. That is insanity. Look at that. There are a lot. There are surprisingly a lot of these. I mean, I guess there are 3 dolls, but geez Louise. I want to go to bed! I literally put all this makeup on just to do this video. That's how insecure I am with my ugly face. Some of you guys are really sweet and you're like, oh, Raymond, I don't know why you use full coverage makeup. You're beautiful, but that's because I've only done like 2 videos where I don't have makeup on. So trust me, the power of makeup. My eyebrows do so much for my face. You guys have no idea. I look like a completely different person. So Sorry. Be yourself, but do also the things that you feel like are best for yourself. And one of them is wearing makeup, for me personally. You know, I don't know how people do more subtle looks with makeup, like, you know, just put a little concealer on and call it a day. Like, I don't know how people do that, because mine is like always lighter, so, and then it just looks like my eyes are light and the rest of me is like red, because my face, like, I'm fair complected and my skin is kind of, I guess, pinker. And I don't know. I can, it's really hard to find shades that match like exactly right. Like, and I'm super pale also though. I don't know. It sucks. It sucks. There are a lot of different shades, and I really respect makeup companies for, you know, trying to come up with shades that are good for everybody. But it's like, I don't know. It's still hard to, unless you want to pay like $80 for makeup, which I don't. Oh my god. He's so floppy. Oh my god, I love it. It's so cute. Look. Oh my gosh. Got a little dust on you there, Drew. Well, that their hair is yarn. I mean, it just shows you like who their demographic was. Oh my god. There is a dead spider in here. Ew. Ew. Oh my god. I've literally never had that happen in my life. Okay, just making sure it's dead. Oh my god. I had a heart attack. Okay, alright, I'm fine. Oh my god. You know how long that's been in there waiting to scare the absolute crap out of someone. I almost swore, but I'm trying to maintain a one swear per episode. I don't even remember these bows. I probably took mine out like ASAP. Her hair is very stiff and needs some messing with. To wash their faces off as well with something, because they have little markings from the box rubbing up against them. Okay, one more in here. Oh my god, look. Can you see that spider there? Right there? Oh, it is dead though. That thing is dead. It is very dry, and oh my god, that scared the crap out of me. Let me get a tissue and get this thing out of here. I'm honestly scared to open the rest of this. What other surprises could be in store here? This is so cool. That leg won't stay over though. We look like twins. Oh my god, I love it. I love it. This is so crazy. I can't believe this is all mine. Okay. Finally. Wow, that took a lot of effort. Let's start out with the main event here. And that would be Angelica. So, wow, she is so pale, first of all. And her eyes not being lined like mine kind of make her eyes blend in a little more. I don't know if that was an intentional change or what. But I think I like this a little more. I think she looks a little less creepy in some ways. I think it's really hard to translate the art style of Rugrats into 3D though. So you know, they kind of already had a challenge there to begin with. I remember just playing with their feet all the time and their shoes, just being so fascinated by the shoes. She is a really nice representation of the character from the show, though. I mean, in toy form, you know, but this was when Mattel was really at the top of their game. Oh my gosh, this one still has its tags on it. I remember I cut mine, and you can still see it faintly there. But yeah, it's so cool to have this. And she has nice yarn hair. It's still in its pigtails. The rubber bands are broken, so I am going to have to replace those, of course. But I don't even remember these ribbons, like I was saying before. So it's nice I don't even remember her having bows. Obviously in the show, but I mean my doll. So, and I remember her little dress. I used to take off their clothes and give them baths with me and stuff, so those got lost, you know. But yeah, it's really nice to have her. And I like her little, of course, polka dot leggings, but yeah, on the doll, they are just there, you know. You can't take that off, just her dress comes off. The rest is attached. And her nice orange top, her orange socks, her purple shoes, just that look of Angelica's. And of course, Angelica is nothing without her Cynthia, her prized possession. So this is an accessory that comes with it, and as far as I can tell, it was molded in 2 different colors, orange and blue. So I have the blue version. I think the orange version makes a little more sense, and it would have been nicer if Mattel would have made the doll actually just look like the doll, but it is a very detailed thing, and if you were skilled enough to do so, I'm sure you could paint it and make it look just like the real doll. So it's really cool to have this. I don't believe mine came with the Cynthia, and if it did, it was lost. But I don't think that the individual ones came with accessories at all. So continuing with the accessories, we have a picture frame. It's very large of some animation of the family together. And then so we have Charlotte, and once again, it's a very difficult task to bring these 2-dimensional characters into a 3D doll, but I think that it's a really good likeness of her in a lot of ways. She also has yarn hair, just like Angelica, humongous earrings. It's just funny, the look on her face. She looks like a deer in the headlights. But her head does move. There's very little posability on these dolls. I'm very certain these were intended for smaller children. So yeah, there's just not a lot there. But she also has her cell phone, which is her all-important phone. She's constantly yelling at people on it, and Jonathan! So, you're fired, get out of here! You know, that sort of thing. If you're familiar with the show, you know exactly how it goes. So last but not least, we have Daddy Dearest here, Drew, and I have got to wipe his nose off. Yeah, I'm gonna have to rinse this baby. Oh my gosh, his hair is so funny. So he's got like a sweater on, of course, a sweater vest, I mean, and it has that like early 90s sort of print on it, like a almost tribal-esque print, very like southwestern looking. It was sort of in style. He's got like loafers on, just typical 90s dad look, I guess. His glasses. This is a really, really good likeness of him, I think. But that's really it, you guys. So my 2 girls together. This has been a really long review, and I'm sorry, but you guys know me by now, so I also don't really care. But this was really fun, and I'm so excited to have these dolls. I'd like to get more of them, and if you guys like this one, I hope that I can do another one for you. So please let me know if you guys have these dolls down in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories, and if any of you guys loved Angelica as much as I do, or who's your favorite Rugrat, or what's your favorite Nicktoon. I personally loved most of them. Hey Arnold, Cat Dog. Oh, they were all my jam. So let me know down in the comments, and I will see you guys soon with another doll review. Please take care and Happy New Year. Mwah! Bye guys, love you.